So this is Masks of Nyarlathotep, session 34. It is the 18th of June, 18th of May, and the team have arrived in Shanghai. Last session, they arrived in Hong Kong, and they had a little bit of a fun time in Hong Kong. Visited the Yellow Lily Bar. Is it Yellow Lily?
Yes, I think so.
Yellow Lily Bar, that's correct. And got some information. They weren't happy with the information. They then continued to delve a bit deeper and discovered that there was an inmate in a nearby nursing home called Randolph Carter that a note from Elias Jackson found in a book that was in the hotel they were staying at indicated might be Jackson Elias. So after they fought off some thugs that had turned up first thing, they went to the nursing home and discovered, yes, that was in fact Randolph Carter. But as they arrived, there was a landslide which caused the hospital to be consumed by earth. They got into the hospital, managed to get Randolph Carter out, who was in fact Eric Carlisle, got him back to their hotel, began to interrogate him, but as he dozed off, your fellow traveller who died in Egypt, who turned into a ghoul, was looking for revenge and was waiting for. He'd entered the dreamland as a ghoul and was trying to find a way to get back at you. As soon as Eric fell asleep, he was able to enter the real world through Eric's dreaming and his body. Broke out into the room and attacked everyone, killing Eric, but also he died in an attempt to kill you. Did damage Enzo, but the Periaster, the ghoul, was put down, and you had to leave your hotel. It was decided that because of the information that the Lily Bar had given you, and the fact that they probably sent the goons to attack you first thing, you would do a drive-by firebombing of the hotel, of the bar.
Was that Ogilvy's idea?
Yeah, that was. Although Ogilvy was driving, but everyone was throwing the Molotov cocktails and firing into the bar. You torched the bar and hot-footed off the island on a boat heading towards Shanghai. I think that was it.
That was a quiet week then.
Yeah. It wasn't, nothing special. Just a rampage. A faux rampage, because you were in the car just firing into the. You took umbrage with this bar, I must admit.
Yes, they were trying to. They were trying to recover some debts.
Yeah.
Which we felt we shouldn't have to pay, and they came to attack us in the middle of the night, and we thought that was quite wrong.
It just wasn't cricket, so. So yes, you did get a little bit of revenge, and have hot-footed off the island. I believe you all gave false names on Hong Kong. So locating you kind of think you might have got away with that, ish. So we find ourselves in the port area of Shanghai. So if everyone makes their luck rolls.
So go on then. Remind me as always.
So you roll luck, and if you get over your luck, it's 2d10 plus 10. If you get under your luck, it's 1d10 plus 10. Unless you've got over 100 already.
Right, so roll luck. Okay, so if you succeed, what happens?
It's 1d10 plus 10.
Right, okay.
If you fail, it's 2d10 plus 10.
Right, so 12 then, okay. Whoopee! Got a big old 52 points of luck then. Cool. Okay.
So, you arrive on the docks, and you kind of need to work out where you want to go and what your plan is. So, if you arrive at, let's say, I see what the dock. Doesn't specifically say dock, does it? Doesn't matter. So right at the bottom, it's about here, you arrive, for argument's sake, because there isn't a dock per se that it says. So your boat, so you arrive. Yeah.
Many threes at Seamen's Club.
Steady on.
Yeah, 23, Seamen's Club. Yeah. So that's where's 23? 23 is there. Yeah. So you've arrived here, and it is what time did you leave? Late. So you've arrived early hours of the morning, I'm going to say. So what did you want to do? Oh. Beep.
So what clues do we have then in Shanghai? What? So have we still got the guy with us? Did you say?
No.
Okay. So
Eric Carlisle. So you have the main clues, the stuff you got from. So the clue you got from New York was a matchbox, which named the
something tiger.
Yes, hidden. Yes, leaping tiger.
that's right. This was the other club, wasn't it? Because as you say, we had the yellow lily one, and then
the stumbling tiger bar. You also Rex, when he arrived in Kenya, he he'd been sent via his telegram to go and look for Niles Nelson, who he interviewed in Kenya, and Niles had said that he has saw Jack Brady in the Lily Bar in Hong Kong. There's information in Jackson Elias's everything that Jackson Elias had that pointed to the Stumbling Tiger Bar where he saw Jack Brady.
Jackson Elias one there.
Yes. And there was, what else is there? There was Hufang exports or imports. That's so stuff's being sent from Australia to England, going up to the engineering firm, and then being sent back to London, which then gets sent to Hufang for the Pale Viper, who you believe is Penhew. I think that's the main ones. You didn't go and speak to when you were in Kenya. You didn't speak to the newspaper guy there, did you? No. So that's.
So you said Ho Fang, didn't you? So is that? I see on the map there. There's a Ho Fang's warehouse. Is that? So we have an address for that. So that was the shipping company that was receiving the stuff, right? So I mean, that would seem to be a good place to check out, wouldn't it? Because the warehouse, that's probably relatively easy to get into. If we wait until nightfall and maybe go and have a little nose around there first of all. What do we think?
Yeah.
A bit of breaking and entering, maybe a bit of firebombing, just to warm us up a little bit.
I mean, the city is basically paper. Or is that?
Yeah.
That's Japan. No, I'm not sure. Stone, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So number 8 is the Stumbling Tiger Bar. Number 12, that's the American consulate. Where's Hufang? Hufang's 11.
Yes.
Don't think you had any other information. I'm trying to think. I think that's it.
What do we think then? Do we think we think warehouse, or do we think go to check out the bar? I know what Pratley will say, but
I suppose your first port of call is to find somewhere to stay. There is a language problem. You haven't got a guide either. Which,
having said that, China in the 90s, I mean, English should be spoken. One would have thought. Certainly, hotels and that would speak English, wouldn't they? Certainly, hotel people and hotel staff would speak English.
Is it actually
Hong
part
Kong?
of China?
Yes.
Hong Kong is, but Shanghai is not. But even so,
is it not? Okay.
For trade and all the rest of it, I'd be surprised if we go to a biggish hotel at least. I would reckon they would speak English. So
no, there is an issue with communication that he does talk about. Whilst there's a couple of different dialects, it does mention that you could do with you can whittle it down to a single dialect, but you have to do with somebody who could speak the language.
Dang it! I knew I should have bought language Chinese, is it Mandarin or?
I think Cantonese and Mandarin.
Right. Okay. So I mean, I guess should we then maybe we go find a decent hotel? Oh yeah,
so I'll read this. So English serves fairly well within the international segment, so long as the investigators keep their questions simple, such as where is, etc. Outside the settlement, investigators must speak Shanghainese. Apparently, that's or have interpreter guides. Mandarin Chinese or Cantonese will do an absolute pinch. So if you're within certain areas, you'd be okay, but you could do with a comprador, which is a kind of a translator.
I think
is it worth the risk? I mean, it's never turned out well, has it? Whenever we've got a guide, or rarely, I'm not entirely sure it's worth the additional aggro.
Do you have that much stuff to be stolen? Is basically what you want to ask yourself.
You what?
Do you have that much stuff that needs stealing?
Well, no, it's not so much that, but they could also be agents of whatever.
Yes,
I'm just thinking about getting, compromised
again.
Again, yes, it happens. It happens often enough.
I think what we should do.
I'd be wary.
I think we should go to. I think what we should do first is I think we should go find a respectable-looking hotel. All right, so which means we could somewhere in the international district probably. And then I think what we do is we talk to do what normal people do. We talk to a concierge in the hotel and say that we're looking for we'd like to, hire a guide who speaks the language. And, we go down that route because again, this is not unknown that people from, international travelers would come and, you go to a decent hotel and you say to the concierge, right, mate, I need somebody reliable. You know, we're going to pay well for his time, and we just need a translator. We've got some things to, you know, some business opportunities to look into or whatever. And we just hire somebody, and obviously we just watch them like a hawk. And if they cross us, we kill them. So I don't know how else you're going to get an interpreter. We don't want to go to a bar and, you know, just or get some street urchin and, you know, I think go to a hotel, do it properly, get a concierge and get, you know, say, well, you know, we need you to recommend somebody who's going to do the job, and, you know, that would seem reasonable at least. What do we think?
Yeah, I mean, we might get by in the international area.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
What
do we actually need to do here? What are our two clues? There's a bar and there's
The warehouse. We want to go to the warehouse because that's where the artifacts have been going to.
The bar, I'm sure there's going to be somebody there that basically speaks English.
Yep.
And if we decide to talk to anybody at the warehouse, I'm sure that, given the fact that he's an international whatnot, I'm sure he'll speak English.
So the warehouse is number 11, which is this one
Oh,
here.
hello. Kevin says Discord has died, so Kevin's just we're still in. You guys can obviously hear me. He's just messaged me. So right, so here we go. We're going to wrap this up, right, guys? At the end of the campaign, Nyarlathotep dies. We win. Well done, everyone.
Hail of gunfire and flame.
Well done, everyone. We're done. Good. Any questions?
No, I think I'm good.
I can. We're back up again. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, I'll edit it. It's fine. Yeah. So Kevin, I think Kevin must be rebooting or something because he's still not back on. I'll tell him we're still here. Anyway, yes, there you go. So you said there's a mansion, right?
Yeah, number 29. So I'll just circle that because that strikes me as being of potential interest. If the
I would agree.
assuming
where is it on the map? 20. Oh, there, 29. You said, yeah.
Yeah.
That one. Is that right?
Yeah. So we might. I don't know. We might need a interpreter if we were going to venture outside the international area.
What I'm saying, I think again. I know, Kevin. If you're listening back to this, I'm sure you won't. But I would just, again, I know he has a habit of throwing us in with dodgy reprobates. So I think we just, like I say, let's just play this above board. Let's hire somebody. Let's hire somebody reputable. Go to the hotel, international hotel, where they, reputation is important, and we go to a concierge. We go to the hotel manager. And we want to pay somebody to be an interpreter, not some dodgy geezer off a market stall or something, but some actual professional. Because I'm sure people doing business in Shanghai, there are people whose job it is to facilitate business and to facilitate communication. So if you pay somebody to do a job, then I reckon we'll get someone decent. I know he's going to turn out to be a treacherous cultist, but at least we're making an effort.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. I mean, maybe we could try and get a lawyer.
Ah, that's a good shout. That is a good shout. Well, because what you want is somebody. You're right. You want a professional, don't you? Not again. You want somebody who's a professional. You want the sort of person Michael Palin would hire if he was doing a documentary. Do you know what I mean?
I'm sure the BBC hired them.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. But I think the problem we have is we tend to pick up some waif and stray to do it, and I think that's where we go wrong. So I think if we get somebody we're paying to do a job, obviously until the sort of insanity starts flying and the bullets start flying, but up to that point, I'm sure they'll be reliable. Or they'll be a member of a tong or whatever. So, I guess we just have to take our chances. But it looks like Kevin's struggling to get back in. He's still not there yet.
Oh, he's dropped out of.
He's out of Discord entirely. Is he out of Roll20? He's probably rebooting, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's out. I know he's not said on the WhatsApp group that he was trying to get back in, but yeah. So what do you think we should do? What order do you think we should do this in? Do you think we should do the bar first, do the warehouse, or look at the mansion? Obviously, we're getting an interpreter first. Maybe if we're gonna do the warehouse first, we probably don't want to hire a professional interpreter because he's probably going to look at that a bit suspect. If we're trying to break into a warehouse at night, that might not come across as legitimate business practice, might it? But
I still think we should wait till we need one.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
But we
15
can,
times
That makes
bitten,
sense.
twice shy.
Yeah, I agree. It is a
Fool
bit
me
of a
85 times.
yeah. Every time we've
not
had
you.
somebody, they've turned out to be dodgy.
Hmm.
What are the odds?
Well,
what
either
are the
that
odds
or
of it?
there's so many people in this conspiracy that they make up a substantial percentage of the Earth's population, in which case we're probably fucked anyway.
Well, what are the odds that it's going to happen again?
Extremely high.
Extremely high.
I would say almost to the
Certain.
99.99%
Thought
chance of it happening again.
suspicious, but I think it's good. I think it's almost guaranteed. But
You
as you
fools,
say,
you thought I was a lawyer?
maybe we're just
I
jaded.
faked everything. My Harvard degree, my history, my marriage, it's all a lie, just so I could steal your wallets and laugh at you as I run away.
Oh, we need short rounds, don't we?
Yes.
But no, I don't know. I think yeah. But I think you're right. Maybe we just wait and
No,
see
we need
until
Dan
we need one.
Aykroyd.
Dr. Jones. Yeah.
Yes.
I think to be fair, I think you always need Dan Aykroyd, really, don't you? Whatever the situation, I think Dan Aykroyd makes everything better. But yeah, like you say, I think maybe we just wait until we need somebody. And if waving a gun in their face doesn't work, or talking very loudly and very slowly doesn't
Well,
work,
you can always make inquiries, but don't pull the trigger on it until we need it.
yeah, fair play. That's fair play.
19 is the Palace Hotel.
Ah, that looks good.
I don't see any.
Kevin says his Discord is doing like 1 million updates.
Oh,
Yeah, actually, that's why I always open up at Discord before the game starts to make, because it always does updates. But
I hit Discord. I'll open it up like a couple of times a week because there's other channels that I follow. But
agreed. Yeah,
I don't remember there being like any egregious updates. Because surely, does it not update? No, it must update when you've got it. Regardless of what you're doing, it must update it.
Yeah, his
Maybe we're all going to get hit by it.
Yeah, no, mine did one update when I opened it earlier, because it normally
I got
does
a
at
little
least one
message.
update a week. But
yeah, same here.
as I say, I don't know. Maybe just I wonder. He would have had it open a couple of weeks ago or last week. I said my Star Trek game got aborted because of bloody my audio problems, but that was headphones. That wasn't Discord.
Speaking of audio, I said I was talking about that little USB.
Oh yeah, a USB gizmo, yeah.
And I plugged it in because I'm using it now. I plugged it in and I went into like the audio settings because it gives you like a drop down what sound card you want to output, what you want to input. And it was the USB stuff was listed on there, and I just clicked on it and it worked. And the last time I tried using it, I had to disable my existing sound card and an existing mic. So it just worked this time. So I don't know whether it's just I plugged it. I don't know whether I just maybe plugged it into the wrong USB. Maybe it only works in 2 rather than a 3.
I was going to say, if you've got USB 2 and USB 3, that might do it. Have you got your light up headphones on as well?
I have.
Yeah, me too.
I might as well. I've got all these extra USB slots now, so
yeah. I've got my light up headphones on. I'm going to take a picture and send it to the Discord because
even the little kind of sound card thing lights up as well. It's got a little LED to show what the volume is.
Yeah, it's. I'm going to send that to the WhatsApp. I've got my little ones on.
I was going to save the light up to like GMing.
Oh yeah.
But we never use video. We never use like video cameras anyway. So it's
No.
like, yes, look at me. My ears are glowing. The cool blue radiance.
I quite like them. They're actually, now that they're actually working. Funnily enough, I like them better than once they're working. Because my problem with them before, I had them before, but they were a bit erratic. But this I figured out the best thing for me to do is just plug the thing in before I turn the laptop on, and you know.
Right.
Well, you might want to, like I say, I think that that thing that I was telling you about, it's about 20 quid or so.
Yeah, no, I might pick that up actually.
It might sort some problems out if you don't have like a dedicated sound card in your.
The only problem is
your
that the
lappy.
Mac. Yeah, that's the problem because of course I'm on a Mac, so it's got like one audio jack and that's it. Which seems, to be fair, it seems to be working a lot better this week. So I'm quite happy wearing these. If it works, because it caused me to cancel my Star Trek game because I was having real issues. But this week they seem a lot better and a lot happier, so I'm good with that. But we'll see how it goes. I'm just telling Kevin we've killed Nyarlathotep because he says he's still having issues, but.
Let's talk some more about Hulk Slayer then.
Right on.
And how friggin' awesome it is. It's not, Roger. Don't let them deceive you. It's a terrible film. There's nothing to recommend it. The acting is over the top. Dialogue is cheesy as hell. The special effects are BBC standard, but there is something about it.
Yeah. I'll give it a go.
I've just sent you a picture of the book. Like I said, I've got the book literally in my little cabinet here.
I really need to try and pick up a second-hand copy because I don't have the novelization.
I've never ever seen it.
I've seen you can get it on eBay. Let's have a butcher's.
Do you know that? Because the book was £1 when it was released.
Yeah, it goes. I think last time I looked, it was like second-hand, like £6 or £7 or something like that.
It is a good little book, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I've read it.
Did the book come out first?
No, it came out at the same time. Yeah, because my story of Hawk the Slayer was that my dad took me to see. We went down to the old cinema because in Brighton there used to be this old cinema called the King's West, which was sort of on the seafront. There was you had to go up an escalator to get to it. And I remember he took me to see a double feature, and it was Saturn 3 with Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett, and it was Hawk the Slayer, and they were
shit snacks.
And they were they were he says he's going to try and get in on his phone. Yeah, and it's
£13.
Whoa.
Or like £37. Well, £38 if you buy it from like a second-hand bookshop.
Yeah,
straight up. I've got 4 results, and the cheapest one is £13. It is free postage and packing.
Oh, well, that's all right then. Get on that.
Although they look the really expensive ones do look fairly decent condition, but I don't give a monkeys about that.
My copy is so. Yeah. Thanks, Roger. My copy was the one that we bought. So when we were in Brighton, we went to see both the films at the cinema, and then we went into WH Smith's afterwards, and I bought it in the shop on the same day that I saw the film because I was such a fan of it. So I kind of came dashing when and bought it straight away, and that's still the copy I've got. I've only ever had the one copy of it, but yeah, I wouldn't part with it for anything.
Back. I'm back.
Hello, you're back.
What a pile of fucking shit that was. So I don't know. For some reason it decided. Midway through talking, I'm going to do one of 500,000 updates, and then it decided to knock out the Wi-Fi and the internet to do that. Because I changed phones, I couldn't log onto the phone because he goes, you need to be verified. So yes, that was a pig's ear.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, but was there I seem to remember there was like a double book, the Flash Gordon novelization.
Yes, there was. There was.
Yeah.
And it was one you had to flip it over, didn't you?
Yeah, there's none showing up
so
on eBay.
Flash Gordon one side, Hawk the Slayer the other, and you'd flip them over.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe I could. There might be one that's cheaper, but nah.
I was always puzzled by the fact that that Saturn 3 was on the same bill as Hawk the Slayer, though, because Saturn 3 had like sexy time in it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
So
Vaguely, I've got vague memories of that.
yeah, it's not very good. Anyway, Kevin, we killed Nyarlathotep, so we're done.
Yep. Clearly.
Whilst you've been away, we've sorted it. It's done. He's dead. We're all good.
Yeah, we rang him out. So are you? Fuck off.
And apparently that mask of his, it's a William Shatner mask. Figure that out.
Yes. That actually that is the biggest failing of the entire campaign is the fact they call it the Mask Suit.
So I think we decided
that.
I think we decided that what we're going to do about an interpreter is we're going to wait.
Yep.
So we're going to wait until we decide it becomes necessary.
Yeah.
And I think, as you say, we probably first thing. I think Roger, you said you found a hotel, didn't you?
Yeah, there's two actually. But can I just say that Craig has failed to join?
It says it's recording. I think he is recording.
Oh.
But you're right. He did fail because he dropped out, but then I rejoined him, so I think he is still recording now.
All right.
Yeah.
There's two hotels that I could see on the map.
Yeah.
Number 19. I didn't mean to make another circle here, but number 19 around here. But there's also number 20, but this seems a little bit 26 to the west seems a little off beaten track.
So 19, did you say?
Yeah, 19 is right by the.
Why don't we go for that one then? That's the Palace. Yeah, why don't we go for that? That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find a picture and I'll drop it into the chat as well while you're talking.
Cool. So it's going to take you a rickshaw ride to the Palace. So I'll let you make a party luck roll just to shout loudly at the kid to get you there.
Yeah, I guess we'll just be pointing in the general direction and say.
But he's picking you up at the international port, so there's a good chance that he'll be able to communicate. Has that gone off?
No, still here.
Made a beep. Oh, that's because that's the hotel.
Yeah, that's the hotel. That's the Palace Hotel Shanghai.
So you'll be able to go Palace Hotel, and it's got Palace Hotel, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to find it. So drop him a couple of dollars, and he runs off at pace. There's 4 of you, so you're actually going to need 2 rickshaws. They're not that strong. But after 20 minutes of running along with his little as fast as his legs can ride him, you get outside the Palace Hotel.
Okay.
And to expedite things, you get 2 rooms, and it is early hours of the morning. So probably the best thing to do is sleep until the morning to actually early out. Yeah, so you probably sleep for a little bit before going back out again. You just need to decide what name you're going to put down as guests, or who's the reservation, should we say, is going to be under.
Mr. Underhill.
Mr. Underhill. Yep. Cool. So time passes and you awake. Smell of the city. There's an array of salty smells, spices, and totally alien to you. You didn't really get enough time in Hong Kong to appreciate just how different this place is. Looking out the window, you can see a vast array of people in drab clothes with pyramid-like baskets on their heads, running up and down. You can see lots of ladies wearing bright colours, walking around with baskets. It's a hive of activity, and there is an odour of strange spice that's coming up from the street below.
Okay, so given that this is morning,
yep.
I guess probably the best place for us to maybe go check out is going to be this warehouse first of all, because at least that's a business that will be open during the day. I presume the bar will be a nighttime
Yeah.
thing. So
I mean, you can walk past the locations and have a look.
yeah, exactly. We don't have to do anything other than just check it out, maybe see how it looks, and I guess we could make business inquiry because again, it's if it's an import export, I guess we could get inside to have a little nose by posing as businessmen. Mr.
Yeah.
Platley's an impressive looking individual, and Enzo is threatening. So so that might work, but because if they are involved in shady goings on, they're still a business. They're still operating. So I presume we could get. It's not like you're not going to get. You could go there and just make inquiries about what they do as potential customers.
Yep. So you could head out there after breakfast.
Yep, hotel breakfast. Don't want to miss that.
No, which is all kind of edible. So, lots of things floating in soups, stuff you've never seen before. But edible, tastes nice. We're quite happy with the taste.
At a breakfast buffet.
Yeah. So I know egg fried rice, so it's equally nice Chinese.
No, surely a hotel in Shanghai it would be probably be British cuisine, wouldn't it? I reckon because again,
I suppose
even though Shanghai's not part of the empire, but it's still it's an international hotel, so they're not going to be serving you any of that foreign muck, are they? It's going to be
it's bacon eggs.
It's going to be bacon and eggs and bangers and all that business, I would think, and plenty of tea.
English tea.
Yeah. I reckon.
Yeah, given the fact that it's got Palace Hotel written on the outside, rather than Cantonese characters. So you find you get your fill. The food's very nice, and you find yourself sitting around the table, having just finished food, trying to decide what your course of action shall be.
Do you have any English newspapers?
Yes. So there is a newspaper which is called the Shanghai Courier. It's about 12 pages long, and it is English Chinese dual language.
Excellent. Just something to read over breakfast.
And that gives you. Sorry.
I was just going to say, is it a broadsheet? So it's like you're just sort of reading it and having to, so it's like Enzo's hidden behind the paper as he's reading it.
No, that's not a broadsheet. It's not because it's only 12 pages. So 12 pages in English and 12 pages in Cantonese of the same stories.
Okay. Anything interesting?
No, there's nothing interesting.
Or of interest?
No, only as much as it just gives you an idea of the business side of Hong Kong. Food prices are going up. There's bad harvest in Wuhan. Lots of bats are coming from that. General kind of stuff. But because there is a newspaper with that kind of thing, on the top of the Shanghai Courier, it gives you its address, which is not far away, I don't believe. I think it's on the map. Number 14. So number 14, it's just up the road from you. But similar to England, where they had lots of archival material that Jackson Elias had looked at, it's an English newspaper, so it's possible they've got some stuff in their archives that might be interesting.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we could check that out.
You've also got the museum, I'm just trying to go. I'm just going to give you some assistance with what you have, places you've gone in the past in different towns. So there's the museum. You haven't stepped in a library the entire campaign, I don't think. Pretty sure you've walked past a couple, but you haven't actually been in one. That's it. Obviously, you've got the British consulate and the French consulate. I'm not sure how useful they would be, but they're all rough in the same area. But yes, there's nothing in the Shanghai Courier today. So now make a luck roll. So Enzo, make a luck roll as you're reading it. Okay, so you're reading it, and you get to a footnote at the bottom page in which it talks about a fire in Hong Kong, which local Tongs set fire to a dive bar, which spread, fatalities unknown at the moment. And also talks about the landslide and the nursing home at the same time. But these are inconsequential footnotes because it looks like it's more of a information relating to Shanghai itself rather than international.
I'll sort of with a knowing look, I'll hand the paper over, glancing at eyeing the bottom of the page as I pass it over to my.
Yes, it's been about eight to 10 hours since you torched Hong Kong, so it's just enough time for that information to be available.
When you say torched Hong Kong, did we burned all of Hong Kong? I mean, that's quite impressive. Quite happy with that.
You had a good pop.
I'll hand the paper over to Bradley or Henry, whoever's closer, and I'll tap the
Ogilvy will snip out the cutting as a little memento. You hear the sound of as he discreetly rips the bottom of the page out and just tucks it into his pocket.
You hear Rexio, that's you, that is. So the the information is sparse in terms of what it says about both instances. It's just a paragraph, just in Hong Kong something happened, kind of thing.
Yeah,
because it is primarily about Shanghai.
Okay.
Well, have we decided? Are we heading to the warehouse or?
Well, I don't
early
have
for
a
the bar.
particular preference.
Yeah, I think we should do the warehouse because then we can, as I say, we can go in, we can walk in, potential customers, and then we can have a little look around, get the lay of the land, and then come back later. Yeah, that's what I think. That's my vote. What do you chaps think?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Cool.
And then, who knows? By the time we're done there, it might be time for a drink.
Hey, is it walking distance, Kevin? Do we think?
So, Hufang's warehouse
looks like about a mile, or
yeah,
touch more. We could walk that.
Yeah.
It's can't find it. What's it got? A mile over the bridge, and the bridge is quite close. So over the bridge. What else is on the way? Number 15 is the Samsung building. Number 13 is the British consulate. Number 12 is the American consulate. And 8 is the Stumbling Tiger Bar. So from 19, you've got you've got a couple of locations on the way that you'll be passing.
Yeah.
But this. So it's half an hour walking leisurely.
Okay, that sounds good. It gives us a chance to take in a bit of the lay of the land as well, doesn't it?
Yep. So it's set on the side of a dock. It's a rather large building, maybe 60 yards wide. There's a 2-story section, and then there is a lower 1-story section. But it's a typical warehouse, large warehouse. It has on the outside Ho Fang's warehouse. There appears to be a main street entrance. So that's on the side of the building. Just seeing if there's a. No, I can show you the map. I should check and see if there's anything suspicious in there. That.
Well, I guess obviously in this context, we need to approach from the street entrance. So, in other words, there'll be, if there's an office, let's say, for inquiries. Of course, we're not at this point. We're not gonna. So I'm guessing sort of there is that.
Yeah, so that's the main entrance.
Oh, there's the office there. Look, there you go. Office. Okay. So I guess we just do that then, don't we? We just approach. So what's our cover story going to be? I mean, because you've got an American, you've got an Italian, and another American. Because Prattley's American, right, Russ?
Yes.
So 2 Americans and an Italian. So
and an Australian, but he's just
an Australian. So I guess we. I mean, what could we be? What could we be importing? I don't suppose it really matters, does it?
I don't know. Perhaps we're here to source stuff that we want to ship out. God knows what, but or potentially we're looking to import something.
Yeah. Are they? Is it clear? Are they import export or are they just import? Do we know, Kevin?
Doesn't say. You're not clear. Now they have been importing. No, actually, you think it's import and export because when you were in the warehouse or speaking to the warehouse in America, they had sent stuff to Hufang, and along with Houston. No, they didn't have any connection to Houston, but they had sent stuff to Hufang and Kenya.
Isn't there a connection to Henley Motors or?
Yeah, so Henson Manufacturing.
Henson.
So Hufang had sent. So they were going to send the. You found some strange-looking alien technology that you smashed up. That was due to be sent to Hufang for the Pale Viper, which was Penhu. Which is Penhu.
I wonder if they've ever actually met Penhu.
I mean, I guess yes. I guess Russ is right. I guess we could play this another way, couldn't we? Which is that we could march in, claiming to be representatives of Penhu. So I wonder if we, maybe that's the tack to take. Maybe we take the tack of, we need to speak to somebody about Penhu's business, or the Pale Viper's business. I mean, blundering into places has, served us well in the past, hasn't it?
Yep.
Rather than too much subtlety. So maybe we try that angle and see what happens. What do we think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Russ, what do you reckon?
What could possibly go wrong?
Who's the best actor amongst us?
Well, I think Prattley's good because Prattley's good because you just bluster your way through it, right? So
yeah, but I have got bugger all interpersonal skills.
That's okay because then again, this is the typical kind of imperialist with the. Do you know what I mean? So you're sort of throwing your, you don't have time for these Chinese. You're just throwing your weight around.
Yep.
So that might be a way to go because whereas Ogilvy is quite clearly sort of subservient to at least Prattley, and Enzo's just Enzo. They'll steer clear of him just by looking at him because he gives off that vibe, doesn't he?
Third nipple.
Yeah. So I think Prattley just blusters in there as right. See here, you Johnny Foreigner. Because I think it's the trick will be to just bluster in there rather than try and be too clever about it.
Yeah, but we don't know for certain if he's ever met Hang on, Ogilvy, you've got magical spells, ain't you?
Ogilvy has got some spells. Okay, I could use clairvoyance actually.
Yeah, I'm
I
just wondering
guess.
if you can find out, because there's no point in us doing it. It's like, you're not
Yeah, that's a fair
Penny.
point.
He's only got
No.
one leg.
That is a fair point. So Ogilvy does have a couple of interesting abilities, which we've not used any of the. We've not used any of his spells.
No.
But what he can do, he does have clairvoyance, which I think we established means he can sort of see if it's a reasonable course of action.
So, giving you an update on the spells, you've essentially got all of the spells that Herschel had in
Right.
the month journey from Australia to Hong Kong. You spent that time reading and gathering that information.
Even these spells are sort of. So he's got like a mind blast. And he can create a mist and. But in this situation, I think clairvoyance is good because then it just means he can. I guess it's that thing of it's his spider sense, right? It's like,
Yeah.
as you say, is this going to end? Is this if we try this approach? So as Russell says, we don't know whether they've met Penhew, but if Ogilvy tries to see how this is going to play out to some degree, if it's going to end very badly, then we probably take a different approach. But if we think it might work, then we go with it. So so his clairvoyance is 35%. So he's got to roll percentiles and
just do that.
All right, give me a sec.
And you're going to do this in the hotel before walking over there.
Well, he'll probably find a quiet corner and sit down and. No, even outside the warehouse, because even if we're just out in the street, he's just going to. Ogilvy just sort of has a faraway look comes over him, and he says, "Just wait a minute. Let me just concentrate for a second." And he's just going to have a go. Oh, well, that didn't work. So clairvoyance is not helping because that's 62.
It's really noisy. You're getting it. Lots and lots of noise from the city is interfering with your attempt at clairvoyance.
Yeah, so maybe it's just not work. He's just not getting a good. He's not getting a vibe on it, whether it be good or bad. I think.
No.
So I think we probably. I don't know. I think, like I say, I think we should just.
So one thing you haven't considered, which I think you would, given the where you've been, is that you have caused a bit of a ruckus, shall we say,
in Hong Kong.
Everywhere you've been.
No, that's a lie.
Which might, if these guys are in a lot of communication with each other, it's possible that your descriptions may be passed from place to place.
But if they try to kill us, then that's probably a good sign that there's something going on.
Yeah.
I could try to disguise us a little bit.
Do we actually know what Penhew looks like, by the way?
Yes. Yes. You do. Let me just go back to there. Penhew, there's a photograph you have seen of him. Trans Penhew. Yeah, So we do know that Enzo's disguise, his ability to disguise, is really good. He pulled off an exceptional disguise for when you went initially into. Where did you go into?
I'm going in. I want a Clouseau-esque disguise. I want that caliber of.
Well, yeah, because Herschel dressed as a woman. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And you had an epic session running around the museum or the Penhew Foundation, trying to find out information. That was quite good. I'm just trying to find a picture of Campaign Begins. Where is that big picture? That's not there. So if you want to make 2 disguise rolls, or how I would disguise roll for every person, and if you want to state who you're trying to disguise first of all, and then roll, then you can see how well you disguised them. If that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, what I'm doing is just trying to make us as
There
a
you
group.
go.
Totally that.
just
Well, I
trying to
want-
make us as
I
a
want
group
it to be
look
look
impenetrable.
different from what we would be described as.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll right. I'll start with. Where we go? There we go. I'll start with Henry.
Right. So what should we make Henry look like?
Trying to get this here.
Okay. So that's good. That's very good.
Wow.
So I reckon Henry you've disguised Henry as a business secretary. So he's wearing a suit, which he's not Henry at all, because he always wears like cardigans, and because he's a student, so he's very casual. So maybe you've kind of slicked his hair back and a little pencil moustache, so he looks like a sort of a hotel, like a hotel concierge or something.
Yeah.
But in a sort of a 1920s business suit, so like a high collar, so that he looks completely efficient, which of course is not Ogilvy at all.
Yep. That
works for me.
What works? Try.
So I've just dropped that picture, but that's Brady. Okay, that's
where's the
Brady. So
And what should we do with Mr. Pratley? Oh, this is going to be hard.
I think Mr. Pratley needs to be like. I reckon he needs to look like Alfred Hitchcock.
Ah, yes, Hitchcock. Let's see. Yes.
And he's got more hair, Pratley, to be fair. But what picture are you dropping, Kevin? Where have you dropped that? WhatsApp. Oh, WhatsApp group. Okay.
Yeah, because I just took a photograph of this, and it doesn't actually help much. I've just got to find out which one Houston is. So you look at the picture. At the back is the woman that you don't know exists. Next to her is Eric Carlisle.
Is he the one with the bow tie? Yeah.
Yeah, she's the one with the bow tie.
Where's this picture? I can't see shit.
It's in WhatsApp.
Yeah, it's in WhatsApp because I
disconnected.
I don't see it there.
Yeah, it's in the Masks. Oh no, you sent it to me, Kevin, haven't you? Oh no, it's in the Masks of Nyarlathotep WhatsApp group.
Yeah. So okay, we'll go with that. So, have I sent it to everyone?
Yeah, I think so. You have. It's in the group. I can see it.
So, in essence, the person you're looking for Penhew is the guy on the right of Eric Carlisle. So that's the Kenyan princess at the back.
Shirt, dark tie, right? Slightly greying at the temples.
No, so that's Jack Brady.
So it's the other side.
The woman in front is Hypatia Matthews that died horribly.
Yeah.
Then to her, so the guy on the right with the beige brownie suit, that is Hudson, who you burnt to death in Australia. And the guy with the funny grey hair and the awesome eyebrows, that is Penhew.
Right, so, okay.
Which I still can't see.
So there you go. There's your model.
Yeah, I can't see.
Can you
Stick it in Discord?
Can you drop that in Discord?
Yeah, I can do that. I'll do that now.
So
yeah,
give me a sec.
So we want to make one of us look like Penhew.
Or a.
You right there?
Swallowed something. I don't know what I swallowed. A bit of plastic, probably. So yes, you could do that. But you haven't got a photograph on you, so you'd be going by a newspaper clipping of several months ago. The other possibility is to create an underling or pretend to be an underling, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that might be more convincing because, again, it's in the Masks chat, by the way.
Yeah, my phone's disconnected.
I've dropped a picture of in Masks chat in Discord. I've dropped
Oh, right, okay.
I've dropped the picture there. So,
well, look, my main thing was just they don't recognize us as us, basically.
Yeah, so you're right. Just disguise him as you say, just so he looks different. So maybe change, hair color and, exactly. Just so it doesn't look like Pratley.
Okay. Well,
So,
like you said, it's a bit Hitchcockian, no?
yep. So you've
Yeah.
managed to disguise two of you. We'll assume you automatically disguise Jack. No, Rex, because he's not here.
Mhm.
He's just sitting in the background, not doing anything. So you just need to try and disguise yourself, Enzo.
Okay. Let's see. I'll burn some luck.
Yeah.
Try.
The wax nose you've built for yourself just keeps drooping.
It's not 9 luck. Do I have to burn? 81. 82. Oops. Okay. Luck is burnt. Yes.
So,
Try and make myself look like a bit of
we'll
just a
retcon
lay.
this. So you have, in fact, disguised yourselves back at the hotel and then have walked out in disguise.
Okay.
So you find yourselves outside Hufang's warehouse. You stopped in an alley just before the warehouse where you attempted to use your spider sense.
Which didn't work.
You could try one more attempt as you get to the door.
Okay.
Because you're close enough, you think that could be useful.
No, still didn't do it because he's only got 35% in clairvoyance. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to spend luck on that because I've got. Let's just spend some luck. I'm going to spend 13 points of luck.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take that down to. Right, yeah. So I'm going to burn the luck. So yes, he gets a better read on it this time.
Touch the door, about to push it in. There's that flash of cerebral energy as you are aware of kind of a message coming through, shall we say? And you get a vision of a desk with a sheet of paper on that appears to be a long telegram, which gives your names, your real names, and the descriptions of each of you.
Okay, so they are expecting us, at least they know of us. Yeah.
That also includes Perry, Asta, and does it include Herschel? Yes, it includes Herschel as well.
Right.
So there is a date on it, and this was a couple of weeks ago. This came through. When you were probably in Kenya.
Right. So I relay this to the others, and I say, guys, they. I don't know how I know this, but they've been warned about us. They've been given our descriptions and our names, so we have to. Luckily, Mr. Enzo has done such a good job of disguising us, but we just have to use. I think we should just use different names when we speak to these people, and we need to watch our backs.
Yes. Well, I think we were. It's not surprising. Yes, agreed. I would be.
Right. So should we go in? We just so we go into the I guess the lobby, and there's an office there. So is there like a little? Is there like a receptionist or a?
So you get into the main hallway, and there is it's quite empty and quiet. There's a case, a wooden crate one side, and there's a box the other side, and there is a Chinese boy. For all intents and purposes, from your perspective, it kind of looks like he's wearing pajamas, but that's probably traditional dress. And he's sweeping up the that area. And as the door opens and you step in, he stops and he looks at you.
Okay. You boy. Who's in charge here?
He rambles something in Cantonese, quite in a high pitched voice.
Okay. Well, my Cantonese is not up to snuff, so I'll ignore. So Ogilvy will sort of look at him and ignore him, and then seeing that there's an office, Ogilvy will go to the office and sort of is the door open or closed?
So the doors are closed, and without proper description, they'll have a standard wooden door with a glass insert at the top section,
Okay. So
which it says something in Cantonese you can't read.
okay, so Ogilvy will go to the first one. So the one that's on the as we're looking at the image.
Yeah.
The first one, so like bottom left of those 4 boxes. So you've got 4 offices there, right?
Just point of order. I am packing heat.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure we
Just
all
in
are.
case they needed to clarify.
Good point. Yes, that's a good point. We all are, I'm sure. So Ogilvy will have his pistol, and
Okay,
I'm sure
handguns only.
Enzo's got 37 weapons on him. So
You can't suddenly say you've been walking with your BAR. It's handguns only.
that's fair enough. Right. So Ogilvy's going to go to the because again, playing the role of the sort of assistant, let's say. So Ogilvy will go to the first office and sort of knock loudly on the door and go, "Hello, hello, hello. Anybody here who speaks English? Hello."
You can hear noise from inside the office, and the door creaks open, and there is a portly-looking Oriental chap standing there, and he says, "Shall I do the accent? No. Can I help you?" Yeah, with a distinctly Cantonese twang to it.
Are you in charge here?
I am able to help you. What do you want?
I represent my employer, Mr. Blakely here. He represents a very powerful a corporation in the United States of America. That obviously I can't give you the name for obvious reasons. And we need to find an agent somewhere here in Shanghai capable of handling a big shipping operation. Are you the man to speak to?
Do you have in the way of fast talk, persuade, intimidate?
I think. Well, this is Ogilvy we're talking about. Let's have a look. He's got not much in charm. Slightly better at fast talk. Let's have a look. Has he got intimidate? Of course he hasn't. Why would he have intimidate? That would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
So he's got fast talk of 30. Oh, persuade of 45. That's better. I'll go with that. All right. No. Okay, so Ogilvy's obviously kind of trying to play the pushy American, but failing miserably because he's still Ogilvy, even with a different, hairdo and a smarter suit on. But he's sort of tripping over his words a little bit, and he's not really convincing anybody.
You may have called him Blakely. Blaker. You changed his name ever so slightly, because that's a shit roll.
Yeah.
And he kind of his eyes dark and squint a little bit. He goes, "Oh, what? I don't understand. What you want? Who? You're making no sense, boy."
My boss, okay, my boss. I point at. So I said, Mr. Blakely doesn't do the introductions. Okay, he's a very important guy. You understand me?
We're introduced now.
We're from Chicago, USA. You've heard of it? Chicago. You know what I mean? Chicago, USA. So he's now Ogilvy is sort of changing his tack a little bit here, because obviously Chicago, even at this point, is synonymous with organised crime, right?
Yeah.
And so much more. Great museum.
Yeah.
Wonderful nightlife. I mean, don't
don't categorise it. Don't stereotype.
Don't need to pigeonhole these people.
Yeah, fair play.
So he looks at you and he kind of sidesteps you into the hallway, and walks up to Mr. Blakely, You can see him looking between the two of you, and he's going to make a judgment call. So let's go with that. No, I don't want dice roller. I was on this, and he is going to pick one of you. 1 or 2. He's going to pick her, Pratley. Yes, so he assumes it's Pratley that is the who you're talking to, and he kind of puffs himself up to make him look a bit bigger. He says, yeah, "How can I help you, sir? Your boy seems to be a bit flustered."
You deaf or something, son? You deaf or something? Didn't you hear my boy talking to you? We're here from Chicago. We're here to make a deal. And I use my finger and sort of jab him in the chest to emphasize the point.
Did you have
Cool.
this way?
Hold on, watch out. He probably knows Kung Fu, so just be careful.
Kung Fu, what the hell are you talking about, kid?
Why, yada. If you make a
Look at this
persuade,
guy. Psst, short little guy. Come on.
he looks at Ogilvy and looks back at you. So you need to make a persuade, fast talk, intimidate, something along those lines. Charm. It sounds more like you're trying to intimidate.
I think the time for charm has passed here, so somewhat. Oh, look at that! There you go. Nice.
That is spectacular. So at this moment, not only does he believe you, or he's understood the innuendo and the inference of the mob boss kind of thing. He is. You see a little sweat trickle down the side of his brow. He takes a step back. He says, I think we can do business, sir. If you'd like to come into my office, I'm sure we can discuss.
I reach for his cheek and I pinch it and go, attaboy, and I slap him a couple of times gently on the cheek.
He wanders back into the office and beckons you in. There are 2 chairs.
Ogilvy, what the hell is the plan?
We haven't got a plan. Don't be silly. Right. So what Ogilvy's going to do? Hang on. Ogilvy's going to go in ahead of him, and Ogilvy's going to make a point of looking around the room, overtly, sort of checking out. I mean, I know it's only a small office, but he still checks out. Then he takes he's going to take his handkerchief out, and he's going to waft the seat that obviously Pratley will sit on, because presumably there's one seat behind the desk belonging to the guy. And so Ogilvy kind of makes a big show of like wafting the handkerchief across the chair to clean it, and then with a flourish, kind of, offers the chair to Pratley, and then sort of steps back to let him sit down.
Take the seat.
He's
Actually, do you know what? I'm going to turn the chair around.
Oh yeah, and sit across it. Yeah, great. Yeah. Good move. Nice.
Those 2 weeks in drama at New York High was
I've obviously spent a lot of time in speakeasies, so I probably have some shady friends. I must have shady friends. I was able to get weapons and
plenty of shady friends, I'm sure.
So
I don't think that's a stretch, is it really?
Well, I still don't know what our plan is.
Yes. So he says, how can I help you? What would you like?
We want to get a look in the warehouse, basically, don't we? So I guess the plan is probably to say, look, we're interested in doing business with you, but we need to see your operation. You get me? And we want him to show us around the place so we can see, is anything overtly,
Easy, Knuckles. Yeah. He's playing ball. There's no need to put
Boss. I'm going to mess him up, boss.
Knuckles.
Enzo's the one that can actually speak Italian. Enzo's the one that can actually speak Italian.
Yeah, indeed. Exactly.
So, I can show you our operation. We export to New York, England, around the world. It takes you outside the room and wanders right down to the main warehouse.
Okay, so Ogilvy's going to make a point of walking it ahead.
Oh, so before you do, you need to do a spot hidden for the room, because you were having a quick look in the room, weren't you?
Yeah.
So I missed the spot hidden for you.
Okay, hold on a sec. I'll do that. Let's have a look. Hey, that's
So-
fine.
That is that's 2 in one go. That's
Spot bar. There's one there.
You, how did you get that? And I can't get mine to work, you swine.
luck. So
Brilliant.
Enzo.
Brilliant.
So Enzo, Enzo.
Ogilvy.
You saw on the desk under a pile of papers
Yeah.
the telegram which relates to your descriptions.
Is it possible? Okay, so what I'd like to do then is, so Ogilvy has a little shiver of recognition, given that this, because he saw this in a vision or had a hint of this, he sort of gets a little bit of a supernatural shiver. But also, what I'd like to do then, as your man is taking Prattley out of the office, Ogilvy wants to basically pocket that memo.
Okay, so
He'll hang back. What he'll actually do is then he won't go ahead. He'll hang back. Let them leave first. He'll sort of gesture for Prattley to go, and also for the guy to go. And as they leave, he'll just quickly dart and pick up the paper and just shove it in his pocket.
I'm going to give you a stealth roll. Make a stealth roll for that.
Okay.
Because you haven't got a pickpocket or anything, I think. This is where it would be good to spend luck.
Oof. I've not got enough luck to cover that. But okay, we'll try and bluster it out, shall we? Because again, so yeah, I mean, I'll let him leave, but obviously, okay. So Ogilvy sort of makes a bit of a hash of it.
That's the operations you got here.
So let's look back as you do that. Your intimidate of 9 is going to carry you through the entire encounter. That's too good, not so good. So yeah, he kind of looks back as Ogilvy drops the pile of papers on the floor, but you just catch him.
Yeah.
And you're wandering out, but Ogilvy's left in the office with a pile of papers on the floor.
Ogilvy sort of curses himself for being so clumsy, and then sticks that particular memo into his pocket for later perusal.
Okay.
But anyway, then leaves the office, and then as they've already left the office, and so then Ogilvy sort of trots ahead to get ahead of them, and makes a big show of looking around every corner as if he's like checking for threats, So he's like, "Okay, boss, it's all clear," and which makes no sense, but that's what he's doing.
Yeah. So the guy shows you into the large warehouse, which is a massive, big, 40 meters by 20 meters, 30 yards, and it's almost like the Indiana Jones warehouse. There's boxes everywhere, badly stacked. I mean, if they stacked against the wall, they'd have more space, but it's really all over the place.
Yeah.
But you looks like there's stuff to go to certain countries in certain piles. It looks, it looks well done in terms of an operation. You do notice though, the main doors are open because it's early, and they are working. There's people in there carrying boxes. The other side of the dock, there is a large yacht. It's a bit more than a junk. It looks like a sailing. It's still an Oriental sailing yacht, but a sailing yacht. It's got something written on the side, but you can't see at this angle. It doesn't look like the boat that was in the photograph at Jackson Elias's, where they found Jackson Elias dead. But it doesn't look like a cargo boat either.
Are those doors open?
Yes, so both of those doors are open because people are bringing stuff in. And the other side, so the boat's here, the yacht thing. There is a junk here, which they are bringing items from and taking items to. This door, they open up whilst you're there, and a vehicle pulls in, and they start loading stuff. So it's a working warehouse. and people are working here.
So does this boat here have a name that we can see?
No, not from the angle. So you're kind of like standing here, quite tight angle, so you can see
Okay.
the boat. So you can kind of see the boats, but not what's written on it.
Okay. So obviously we want to. Well, as we move around the warehouse, then, because again, I guess we can. You know, he's going to show us around, so we can go out here, or we can go over here at least. You know, and just have a look.
Slim, check it out, I say to Enzo.
So
It's a nice looking boat. You like boats, right?
Mhm.
He's a very nautical guy.
Sure. I'll pull out my
but
smokes and light one, and then I'll just
as you do that,
amble over.
you're
Go on, Slim. Give it a look. We're fine here, ain't we, Charlie?
Yes, boss. Yes, boss. We're fine here,
I
boss.
wasn't talking to you, Knuckles. I was
Okay,
talking to our
boss.
friend here.
But boss, my name's Charlie as
Hey,
well,
what is
so
your
you
name, by the
confused
way?
me.
I didn't get your name.
Wong Lu.
I think you'll find this.
Carry on.
I think you'll find this is the White Lou.
my mind first went to ping pong. No, can't be ping pong. So yeah, Wong Lu, that'll do, or Lu Wong.
Okay.
Lu Wong sounds
Lou Wong.
less intimidating. So Enzo's spot hidden kicks in. As you get to about here, Enzo, you glance up, and this is a little window that is looking down, and there is a distinguished-looking Oriental chap glancing over the entire warehouse. He looks much more important than the guy that you're with.
Okay. So who spots him? Does only Enzo see him?
Enzo spots him.
Okay.
So Pratley, you notice. What do you notice? You notice that you are walking past a section of boxes here, which say Emerson Exports.
Which we recognise from.
And we recognise
before.
that as the export company in New York.
Yeah.
Is it 1/3 of Emerson Lake Palmer?
It is.
Of course it is.
Does the gentleman up in the window see us?
He's looking down, and you kind of, as you light your cigarette, you glance up and see him, and you kind of not so much make eye contact because it's quite a distance away, but you do notice him looking down. Whether he's looking down at you in particular, you're not 100% sure because you didn't make much noise coming in, so it's possibly coincidental.
I'll raise my hat and nod in his direction, and then I'll say to our friend, "What Wing Long? Did you say? How about
Lou
you?
Wong. I think it was Lou Wong, wasn't it?
How about you introduce us to your boss?"
Oh, Mr. Fang, very busy. He's very busy, very busy. Too busy for today. He's got lots on.
Hang on a minute. So Ogilvy sort of bluster up to him and say, "Hey, Charlie, are you saying your boss is too good for my boss? Because I don't like the sound of that." And I'll put my hand inside my jacket and
Easy, Knuckles, easy.
Come on, boss. Let me ice him, boss. Let me ice him. He's disrespecting you, boss.
Knuckles, we talked about this.
And I'm going to stroll over closer so I can get a better view of the boat. Meanwhile,
Okay.
Although I have to say, my associate, Mr. Knuckles, does make a good point. Your boss doesn't look too busy standing there at a window.
Okay, the yacht, you notice, has got the some Cantonese characters, and above them it says "luxuriant goddess."
Oh, interesting.
sure is a nice looking boat.
It's,
Good condition.
It's Mr. Fang's. Fang's yacht.
Very nice.
Every Bond villain needs a yacht, right? So
Absolutely. So our business is import and export. We do export quite a lot. We do import a lot. What was you looking to import and export?
Coach And dames.
What? I don't understand. Hooch?
Hooch.
What's hooch?
Booze.
Oh, alcohol.
Now you got it.
Okay. And dimes, coins. You make.
Dames, buddy.
Oh, women.
Women.
Women and alcohol.
That's right.
We don't do a passenger service. I'm sorry. We can arrange alcohol.
We don't care how they're passengerized. We just want them over the seas.
You can see his head
the US
kind
of A.
It jars with I miss his understanding of certain English words, and he can't quite grasp it. His mind can't. You can see his mind working through what the hell's pasteurize? Is it like pasteurize? He can't quite grasp what that actually means. But he's doing his best. Yeah, we can. Yeah, what kind of quantities were you looking at shipping, sir?
As much as we can get.
Which is 2 bottles, 2 crates, 10 crates, 1,000 crates. I could do with knowing.
You can do 1,000 crates. We'll take them.
We could do 1,000 crates a week, a month, a year.
As often as you can. Look, we're starting a new operation up. We understand that you have certain expertise in bringing items which perhaps you don't want other people to know about. On the sly.
Oh,
so to speak.
Nothing is
Lou,
impossible, sir.
Lou, I can see you're a little bit overwhelmed. Maybe you should just take us up to your boss.
Okay, he's going to have a 50-50 chance of thinking that's a good idea. Under 50%, he thinks it's a brilliant idea. Over 50%, he doesn't. That's an excellent idea, sir. Come with me. I will take you to.
Good boy. And I pinch his cheek again.
He's not happy with that.
Just don't slap him on the rump. They don't like that.
Let's go.
So, it takes you through here.
These Chinamen, they don't like being patted on their backside by people they don't know, so don't do that.
Pat him on his backside.
They don't like it up
That's
them.
sexual harassment.
Not in 1928 it isn't, or whatever it is we're in.
Hey, you don't pat men on the butt. Dames is okay, but not men.
Okay.
You some kind of fruit, Knuckles?
Whatever you say, boss.
The guy gets to the top of the stairs, and as Enzo and Ogilvy walk past A, both of you make a. We'll go spot hidden.
Right.
Okay, who's going first up the stairs?
Well, I guess Ogilvy will go first because he's been making a big show of kind of leading the way.
Yeah.
So I guess Enzo, as usual, is better served hanging back and keeping an eye on things.
Okay,
properly. Whereas Ogilvy sort of blundering about. So yeah, Ogilvy will go first.
A heavy set chap. He gets
Drunk
the top
on his own
How dare you.
nose. Ogilvy barges ahead.
Gets about here, and you notice the step go down slightly, but you continue going. But Enzo, you can as soon as he steps down, you can see the stair sink slightly, and you can see into that room. Number 8.
Oh, there's a gap.
It's just yeah. You think in fact it wouldn't take much, just a crowbar or a bit of a jemmying. You could break open that stair and get into it from there.
Hidden stair room, loving it.
So what's that white dash to the east of room 8 then? Is that a door?
Is a door, a locked iron door.
Okay. Bit weird.
Yep.
Right. Okay. I won't.
Ignore B. Don't ignore B. You can't see B.
I'll take note of that, obviously, but I won't obviously
say
anything just yet.
Go into the reception area, and then he takes you through reception. There's a lady there sitting there typing away, looking quite underwhelmed. and you realise you actually should have gone up the stairs to the reception rather than straight down to the offices, which you kind of bypassed protocol. It takes you upstairs along the corridor into Mr. Hu Fang's office, and sitting behind his desk is Mr. Hu Fang. He says, "Sorry, just so these gentlemen are from Chicago." And he says in split pidgin English, just using syllables, Chicago. They want to do business about women and alcohol, sending it to America. And this guy has got a distinct and measured way of talking. He kind of pauses as if everything he says is really important. How can I help you? Wish to use our fine establishment?
It's a very fine establishment, but we want to make use of its shadier aspects, if you know what I mean. I'm really working hard not to go into Rodney Dangerfield, by the way.
Yeah, I think, yeah. He says, I'm sure we can do some business. He says, come, my friends. If I'm to confide in you, break some small faith with my customers in doing so. You must confide in me.
Shoot.
We're all grown-ups here, are we not?
Ogilvy looks
I
confused for a
don't see
moment.
no kids around.
Ogilvy looks confused for a moment and then nods enthusiastically.
Which of the families do you represent? As you can, I am a man of the world. I have exported in the past to a number of contacts in the United States. Which of the families do you represent?
We are representatives of Fat Tony
I'll
of
mention.
Chicago.
I'll mention a couple of Italian, mob names that I know.
Okay, so Enzo, make a education roll.
Education.
Fat Tony from The Simpsons.
He hasn't seen The Simpsons.
No, he hasn't seen. Oh, Enzo. So, with that,
I'll lay on the thick, Italian.
yes, I'll. Yeah, you can come up
spend
with
some luck to get it down to like a 0-1 or something. It's like, yeah, I couldn't have done any better.
So you nail it. You name just the right number of low lifes for him to. You can see in his eyes. He nods.
Have you heard of the Fettuccine family?
Fettuccine.
Hi.
Hey, don't forget Don Mozzarella.
Hey, and what about Chico Facazia? Don't forget about that guy.
And the Dormeo.
Johnny Gaspazio.
Dolmeo.
Oh, Papa John. I know Papa John. Yeah, not as good as the Goodfellas. So yes, he acknowledges that you get the sense he knows the names you're talking about.
And that was a little test there, obviously.
Yeah, and that was a register. Yeah, registered. It's like, okay, so yes, we can. I can export. If you can provide the ladies, I can export them quite easily to the United States via steamship. We can export some alcohol relatively easily. We could say
$2.
drop the alcohol offshore on which you can then collect it? Because I believe that you've got a weird law at the moment in which you can't drink alcohol.
We were kind of hoping you were going to be able to, bring it into New York for us. We
Yes,
understand you got a little operation running in New York, and
we have exported. So we have a contacts with a New York company, Brian's Exports.
exactly. You see, if you can do that, you'll be doing us a huge solid. See, the Coast Guard around New York, yeah, they're kind of sharp and honest, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, we can do that. Now, when would you like? What kind of value are we talking about?
You ship it, we'll buy it. In case you didn't know, America's dry right now.
Yes, I have heard reports of your Midwest having some terrible weather problems.
No, you got it all wrong. There's no booze. No booze.
Oh, booze. Yes, I've heard of this. Excuse my pronunciation. Prohibition. He's struggling.
Don't say that word. Don't say that word in front of me.
Okay, very good.
It hurts.
It hides. It
No,
hides.
it hurts. It hurts my ears.
Oh, okay. So yes, we can do that. When would you like to begin this enterprise?
Ooh. When did we think that when was the date that we had for our little? Because we know that there's a timeline on events, right?
January.
Ish.
January 20 next year.
Yeah, so maybe we should just go with that. So, I don't know. Probably probably take us a little while to get things set up our end, but maybe
The
next year.
14th of January 1926, when the solar eclipse.
Maybe not be that specific, but see if if you say after, if you say like the new year,
Boss is
then
very superstitious. He wants to start it up when there's a solar eclipse.
there you go.
Is you actually going to say that to him?
No. And as an aside, what the fuck is our plan, by the way? What are we actually supposed to be
haven't got a
doing or
plan.
achieving?
Don't be silly.
What are we?
Okay,
It's our
hold
goal.
on.
I do not understand what our goal is here.
The goal is that we have learned that there is a hidden storeroom.
We're casing the place.
So I think we're basically casing the place. Yes, I agree. So I think the plan is we bluster it up a bit. We leave on good terms with this guy, but then we're going to obviously come back tonight and get into that hidden storeroom. That's the plan. I think. Is that right?
Yep.
So I think now's the time to say, shake, sort of, make a vague promise about the deal. So, we'll be in touch. We gotta make some calls back home.
Okay, so
we'll be in touch. We'll be in touch.
We'll work out some contracts.
Yeah.
And,
you never know who's listening. You never know who's listening. Okay, we'll be in touch. It's all good.
If you give me your hotel details, I will send over the potential contracts and ideas for our. Oh.
Beautiful.
Tell you what, so Mr. Blakely, sir, I think maybe what we should do is maybe we pop back and see this nice gentleman tomorrow and pick up the paperwork. You never know who might be listening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're probably right, Knuckles. We'll swing by. We'll pick the stuff up. We don't want any prying eyes seeing into this business, right?
You got it, Mr. Blakely. That's a great idea.
I know it's a great idea, Knuckles. It's my idea.
Oh, indeed. Yes, it certainly is, Mr. Blakely. Yes, absolutely. All your ideas, sir. Great. Good thinking.
Excellent. I can set up some paperwork, and we can work out like some costings for you for tomorrow. Not a problem. He says, "Whoa, come here. Make it so."
Mm-hmm.
And he rambles off in Cantonese, very fast. And the guy's nodding. He produces a piece of paper and a pencil and starts writing down furiously. And he says, that'll be good. Mr. Wu will show you out, and he will, if you pop by tomorrow at, say, 10 a.m., we can have some paperwork written up and some more ideas for the your plan. If you can come back with us with some kind of volumes for the first orders, we can then work through when, where, how, etc.
Good boy.
Yep.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Knuckles, Slim, let's go.
You got it, boss. Let's go, boss.
And you leave the warehouse.
Perfect.
What the hell were you thinking, Ogilvy?
I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Bradley. It just sort of came to me, you know.
You've been watching too many gangster films.
I kind of got a bit carried away, if you know what I mean. I've never even been to Chicago.
Hello?
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, still here. Yeah, still here.
You guys seem to have dropped out of roll 20. Or it's...
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
What's that?
Well,
mate?
I'm still in there.
mine is...
You've dropped out of roll 20. Not
This-
me.
Everyone's dropped out of roll 20.
Oh, no, we have dropped out.
Yeah, it says your connection to the server
Okay,
has
back.
been interrupted.
And
Oh,
I can
yeah,
see,
it's
I can
back in
see
there.
end zone.
Okay.
I can see the key pour.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
back.
I'm back in there.
Come on, Knuckles, get it together.
Surprised you didn't try to make him an offer he couldn't resist.
Why have you got an exclamation mark by you?
Who, me?
Yeah,
Have I?
you have on my screen.
Not here.
No.
I haven't got one.
Oh, let
It's
me try an F5.
enigmatic, Ogilvy.
Enigmatic.
Inscrutable.
Oh, god damn it.
Oh, that's who it should have been. The inscrutable Mr. Wu.
Okay, Weezer's all good.
Through crossover.
Or Mr. Wu's dad. So, you are now standing outside Ho Fang's warehouse, feeling quite pleased with yourself.
No, I had no idea what was going on, what the plan was. And
Well,
I think it's only Enzo that's seen the secret room, so I've got no idea. I'm scolding Ogilvy for his crazy shenanigans.
Yeah, I will now share it.
I'm assuming you're wandering off.
Yeah.
Away. It's just
Right.
Yeah.
I want to have Ogilvy make a spot hidden to make sure we're not being followed. Because call me paranoid, but
Can I
so
make
as we're walking away, I'm just going
everyone
to check.
can make a spot hidden.
Will my spot hidden show Mr. What's his name going? The Americans have just left. Kill them. Kill them all. Is that what
Right,
my
so-
spot hidden's going to give me?
No. So
Ogilvy succeeds.
Ogilvy succeeds, and you notice that the little boy that was
Mhm.
in the warehouse is
Hit
now
him!
now at the front, sweeping the front. Then you turn, and he's gone. And so
Where's this
you
Jose?
don't notice anything.
Okay, so I'll tell the others and say, hey, you know that, Mr. Bradley, you know that kid who was sweeping up? He was there a second ago, but now he's gone.
Why didn't you shoot him, Ogilvy?
Well, he kind of disappeared
You know
before I had
how
a chance.
horrible small children are in this world.
We could maybe set fire to the place if that would help. I don't know. Maybe later.
Perhaps yes, maybe later.
I reckon. I think this place would look really nice on fire. You know,
I think most places look nice on fire, Ogilvy.
it's a good point. I've come to realise that, sir, in our travels together. That yes, I think you're right.
Cut to Ogilvy's POV, and he just sees like Pratley on fire. And he just looks over at Enzo.
Just sees everybody on
It's like,
Yeah,
Like-
that insanity's really kicked in.
It's like, instead of turning into like pork chops or something like in a Warner Brothers cartoon,
Yeah.
they're just like, oh yeah, on fire.
On fire.
He looks like Firestorm with his hair on fire.
Yeah, exactly.
Did
We
you see
just
that?
like from Ogre's POV, the entire world is aflame. It's just all he sees all the
He's
time.
walking on the surface of the sun.
You're not wrong.
Did you see
You're
that,
not wrong.
that room under the stairs?
I thought I saw something, Mr. Enzo, when I stepped on that stair. I thought I was going to fall through the damn thing, but yeah, I did see there was definitely something there.
I was
Yeah.
too busy making sure that Knuckles here didn't start plugging everybody in the joint.
I think maybe what we should do is maybe we should check that out perhaps tonight or this evening when the place is closed and maybe see what we can find.
Superb.
Yes.
Hey,
do wonder what's that?
taxi! I'll call. Ogilvy will call a cab because at least if we're being followed by yeah, okay. So I think we'll get a cab, or I mean I guess a cab or rickshaws again, and just to make sure that we, as I say, if we are being followed on foot, that we can lose them. And I suggest we don't head for the hotel that we're actually staying in right now.
Well, the bar's on the way back. Thought the plan was to go to the Stumbling
Yeah, we
Tiger.
could do that. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. But the thing is, it's still quite early in the day, isn't it?
You got there quite early, so let's say it is 10:30, 11:30.
Okay. Well, in that case, it's 10 o'clock then, isn't it?
Yes.
Well,
Fair play.
I mean, we've got the bar to check out. I can't remember exactly why the hell we're going there, but I can't remember much. So
Well, I think what we've discovered in our investigations is that by blundering into these places, something usually happens. So
guns and blundering
Yeah.
equals
Why-
resolution.
why break a plan that works? Just we'll go in there, we'll make a ruckus, and something will happen. So
What could possibly go wrong?
We're
yeah,
still
but
in
let's- we have-
disguise, so
we have a plan. We're going to go back to the warehouse tonight, and so we can do that. And like I say, we go to even if we just go to the bar and have some lunch and a drink, and then nothing happens, then at least we've got a plan for later.
Yes, because you are still in effect
In disguise, yeah.
Disguise, yeah.
But it's probably a good idea to stay in disguise for now, anyway.
Yeah, and you think that even if he was to telegram the states, that's going to take a while to get a response back. So if he goes, he gives you a description to the Golgotha family, see if they've sent anyone. I've got to say, it's got to be 48 to 72 hours as an absolute minimum
Yeah.
to get something back.
What if he's on Nyarlathotep's Facebook page though?
You fuck then, really. Yeah, I mean there are if he went into the dreaming lands and then had a conversation with someone, that's possible. But
What's
but
that?
no, I heard a voice in the
Oh,
ether.
creepy.
Yep, it just said burn them. No, if you so I think he's 72 hours as an absolute minimum before you've got a chance of being rumbled for not being gangsters.
What?
Also, sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say the key to this, of course, is though that we're not going to hang about waiting to be. So again, we're going to go tonight and go into the warehouse and see what we can find there. So we're not even if we are rumbled, it's not going to make hopefully we'll have discovered what there is to discover before that happens. This is not a like a masquerade we need to keep up for too long, really.
No.
Good, because the temptation to go full Rodney Dangerfield is extremely high.
Indeed.
Okay, so you're going to go to the bar for a quick drink, and then because it's only around the corner, isn't it? Go back to that. Can we go back
Not
to
far.
where's Shanghai? So Hufang, oh, 11. So that's the warehouse. Yep. And number 8 is the pub. That is, that's 5-minute walk, 10-minute walk.
Yeah.
So you can walk, get the rickshaw to ride you round a bit, and then go to the pub. Maybe half an hour of running around streets, putting off a trail, if there is anyone following you.
Yeah. Yes, not a,
Okay, yeah, that's a
seems
good
like
idea.
a good idea. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. So yes, you half an hour
Is
passes.
Willie Scott performing?
Let's hope so.
It's the Blue Oyster Club actually. So you get round.
The cult. Awesome.
So is it Blue Oyster Club? What was the one in Police Academy? They go in there. You go do 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 do. It's a gay bar.
I don't know. I'll look it up while you're talking.
I can't tell you anything about that.
Gay bar, the Blue Oyster Club. Anyway, you find yourself after half an hour of running around, dropped off outside the Stumbling Tiger Bar, which is open.
Okay. Yeah, it is the Blue Oyster Bar.
I'm embarrassed. I know that.
I would be.
I can pull that out of my memory. That's terrible.
You should be.
Absolutely. Anyway, you're outside the Stumbling Tiger Bar.
There better be tigers.
Oh, let's
So
get a
it's
coffee.
it's number 10 Lantern Street. You can see from the outside it has both Chinese and English signs, and
That's
the image
good.
of a drunken tiger ripping over a stone.
Oh, what?
A drunken tiger tipping over a stone.
Oh, I thought you said stoat.
Just give me a second, chaps. I'll be right back.
Oh, I think we just simply have a drink and see what. Have a look around.
So, as you enter the bar, you see that it is a single room plus a separate toilet. It's dark, large, dirty. Lurid green and magenta posters of Chinese songstresses and film stars decorate the walls. The light is simultaneously harsh and inadequate, even during this time during the day. Decades of smoke, cigarette smoke, and missed shots at spittoons give the air a heavy, damp, mouldering quality. Anyone with a hint of medicine knowledge, you're reminded of the dangers of tuberculosis as soon as you step through the door. There's a few people inside, including at least one Japanese foreman who appears to be quite drunk, propping up the bar. Behind the bar, polishing a glass with a surprisingly clean rag, is a portly-looking chap who is a white Caucasian person. He's white and Caucasian.
Oh, he's both at the same time then.
Wait, white and Caucasian?
Yeah, he's
What
Caucasian.
a try hard.
As you step through the bar, all four of you, from the top of his voice, you hear him say, "Top of the morning to you."
You keep it to yourself, Irish. Oh shit, I'm still in character. Good
That
morning.
might not be a bad thing.
Okay, so we still, because I like doing this voice. I'm not gonna lie.
That would have been quite. There is a Skype Cthulhu do this, and two of the guys are gangsters, and they're doing that Chicago voice. The problem they've got is they're not that bright. So
I wouldn't
they don't get
dignify
far.
that with a Chicago voice or any actual physical location on Earth.
No. So the guy behind the bar, Irish chap, says top of the morning to you. And says, "Oh, what can I be doing for you?" My Irish isn't that great.
How about
That's a good question.
what are you drinking?
What? Are you talking to me or the bar?
What are you drinking, Buff?
Me, I drink water because I've got to stay upright all day.
He's not talking to you, you knucklehead. Give me 2 fingers of whiskey. Same for the boys here.
So he produces a bottle of brown liquid, which he pours into shot glasses. So Irish accent top of the morning. Are you guys? I can't do it. I forgot it. Are you guys New in town, to be sure.
Why do we look like natives to you? Of course we're new in town. You putz.
Very good, very very good. That'll be $6 each.
Knuckles, pay the man.
Okay, I'll pay him.
Anything else?
You got any of those little snacks, like those little mini pretzel things?
I think I got some of those in the back. One sec, and he wanders off to one side of the bar and comes back with a bowl full of crisps.
I don't think crisps were invented in the 1920s. I think that's an anachronism.
Yeah,
They are fortune cookies.
there you go.
That's
That'll do.
racist. Why would an Irish bar be serving fortune cookies?
I don't know why this guy's Irish.
That was just the first accent that sprang to mind, was it?
No, his name is literally Fergus McChum Chum.
Okay.
So I'm going with Irish because my
Well,
Irish
then
is
you should be channeling your inner Father Ted.
I started off and then I completely forgot how the Irish accent sounded, so I kind of lost it for a bit. I got with top of the morning to you.
God almighty, it can't be that difficult to do. Come on now.
We'll have a go.
Well, as you know, Ted, I'm a very cynical man.
It's ecumenical.
That would be an ecumenical matter.
Ecumenical. So he's just wiping glasses, kind of watching you chomp down on this savoury Chinese snack that he's produced. And he starts to go about his other business.
Quite early. Is there much other clientele about?
So in the bar, there's a few people are drunk in their cups. There is one chap, the Japanese foreman, who he looks. Normally, you would look at an Oriental person and think, well, they're just a Chinaman.
Whoa there. Did you just say Oriental?
Oriental.
You fucking insensitive bastard.
Nothing wrong with that. So
Whoa there.
We can edit.
Asians.
We can edit that out. But you can see,
I doubt it very much.
you can't tell the difference between a Korean, a Vietnamese person, a Chinese person, or a Japanese person. Normally, because
Don't project.
Because you normally wouldn't see them. But in the bar, the Japanese chap looks distinctively different from all the other Chinese people you've seen. So you can actually notice the difference there in the bar, and that's why you tweaked him being Japanese. He says, backpedaling. At least it wasn't an address. Anyway, so yes, that's the only. There's about 4 other people in there that look like they've been there all night. A couple of people sleeping, and this guy's like dozing in his cups, just drinking away.
Why are we here, by the way?
So this,
You're
Just
the
having a
brains
drink.
of the operation, guys. I'm the pretty face.
We're just having a drink and just a pre-look place.
Elias was here, and he met Jack Brady here.
I was thinking we just have a look on our way back to the hotel and then can come back again later out of the skies, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
No, I'm never giving up this persona. I am Blake Guy. Whatever Oak would be said. That's me. Blakely. That's me. Forget Rock Steel.
Blakey.
Forget Pratley.
All right, Blakey.
Oh, you, Blakey. Oh, you, Blakey.
I keep picturing Ray Donovan's dad when you're doing
Yeah.
that character.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So you
And I've
spent
never even seen an episode of The Sopranos, so
no.
Hey, what's the matter with you, you putz?
Once you've seen one gangster movie, you've kind of seen them all, really.
yeah, I think so.
So you find that after a while, people come in and go. It's not a very busy bar, but you suspect it might get a little bit busier later. But after you finish your whiskies, Chum wanders back up again. He says, "Anything else I can help you with? Anything, fellas?" Oh,
Oh, another drink, boss.
Well,
Another
you
drink?
know,
pours you another round of whiskey.
I mean, do we
Right.
think this place is probably not? I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not. Again, like Russ said, I'm not really sure why we're here. The warehouse, I understood.
It's a place where where one guy was there, and
Yeah,
you know,
The
do we
matchbox.
pursue it now, or do we come back later?
the matchbox. Yeah,
The
that was
matchbox is found.
Jack Brady.
Yeah.
Jackson Elias saw Jack Brady here, apparently. But this, I'm getting a deja vu, the little because of the Yellow Lily bar.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
feel like
I
if
still
we
think
ask Jack Brady, they're going to ask us to pay the tab.
yeah, that's a good shout.
What shitty GM would pull that twice?
Uh,
Now that you've reminded him.
Anyway, I was keen to have a drink.
Do
and
you want to
have a
set
look
fire
at
to the
this.
place?
Not yet.
So you could either stay and drink and question the barman, or you could pop back later out of disguise.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea because I think the obvious plan is to wait and go back to the warehouse. We know that there's the secret room there, so that's likely to be worth looking at.
Yeah.
This place, it's just a case of kind of hanging about and seeing what turns up. So I reckon we go back to the warehouse first, then come back here later. To
That's
see,
not a bad idea.
yeah, because again, we want to go to the warehouse under, in the dark, obviously under cover of darkness, and the bar will be open and probably much more lively then. So maybe we do that.
So you're having a conversation in the bar about what you're going to do. Are you going to mention this at all?
To who?
The warehouse.
No, I don't think so.
No, not at all. No. We've already talked about that.
Right. Okay.
So no, because the way you've said that suggests that would be a very bad idea. So we're not going to do that at all.
Wow.
Okay. So you are going to spend a bit more time drinking and then leave the bar. But where are you going to go? Because you've got your hours to kill. Maybe kill's the wrong word. Hours to before it's dark enough or late enough to go back to the warehouse. What are you going to do in that meantime?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe we could just do with having a sleep and, just kind of lay low for a bit. Because again, now that we've made an approach to the warehouse with your man, perhaps the best thing we can do is actually just keep a low profile until we're ready to go back to the, because again we're going to wait and we want to wait until sort of 9-10 at night, I would think, at least, before we go back to the warehouse.
Yeah.
Can we look up about you said that we recognised the boat, didn't we? That we got the name off the boat.
Yeah.
So again, we could maybe do some research, but again, I'm a bit worried that if we're out and about, this guy seems to be the sort of guy who's probably got people everywhere. So I reckon we should probably try and get back to our hotel, unseen, and just keep out of sight until we're ready to make a move later.
Yeah.
Yeah. can.
Only because I say I'm worried that if we're out wandering about doing libraries and research, then if he's got people following us, they might be prepared for us later. Whereas as it stands, as you say, until he hears back from, potentially hears back from, if he does, which he probably will check up on us, as you say, but hopefully by the time that happens, we'll already have broken in and found what we're going to find and moved on. So that would be my suggestion, is that we just get back to the hotel as quietly as we can and just, order room service and just not go out until we're ready to go back out later.
Okay, so let's say a bit of a montage of taking 3 or 4 rickshaws around the city until you make your way back to your hotel to cover your tracks. Get into your hotel and kind of wait until it is late. Order room service for lunch and tea. And as it gets darker and later, it gets to about 9:30. And outside is very, very dark. Obviously, the lights of the city are lit, but it is now, late evening, night time.
Okay.
So, what are you going to take? Certain equipment with you, or are you just going to go as is?
I mean, equipment-wise, we've got weapons, which we will presumably take.
Yeah.
We don't really have equipment, but again, this is a warehouse. They don't have alarms. They don't have, at this time, you're not going to have cameras. You're not going to have necessarily alarms. So I think we probably can just,
I've got my usual items, which
exactly. Enzo's got his lock picking kit.
Yeah.
And,
Enzo,
I might take my grappling hook.
Enzo, make a knowledge roll, and it's such an idea roll.
Idea
Just
roll.
knowledge. Yeah.
Knowledge. Where's knowledge?
Education. Sorry, education. They keep changing.
No. That's not good. No.
No, you think you've got the right equipment with you?
I do. Yeah. Do you remember thinking about the stairs? I do.
Essentially, now you've said that. That's where I was going with that. What were you going to use to open the stairs? There are fire axes in the hallway of the hotel.
Crowbar.
You haven't got your. I don't think you would have a crowbar on your lock.
No, I don't.
But you could steal. You could borrow one of the fire axes, because it's a bit late now to go and buy something that's.
It's going to be a bit hard to walk out of the hotel carrying a fire axe, isn't it?
Yes and no. You could take the fire. If you were to get the fire axe, pop the head off it, and then you could drop the handle down one trouser leg, shuffle out with the axe in your pocket, and then reassemble it when you're outside. That would require a simple stealth roll. First of all, a lock picking roll to remove the fire axe from its glass case without smashing it, and then a simple stealth roll to sneak out with the fire axe handle drop down, under your arm, halfway down your trouser leg, to kind of walk out a little bit.
Okay. Should I give that a try?
Yeah.
So you successfully remove the fire axe from the wall by holding onto the actual head of the axe and just tapping the bottom. Because of the way the axes are flanged, you'll be able to knock the head off. You could hand the head to somebody else to put in their jacket pocket. And if you went out first with Ogilvy behind you, I'll give you 20% extra to your stealth roll to try and sneak out with the axe.
That works for me.
So whatever you get, add or take 24. Oh, you spot on. So was that 63? So you can sneak out with the axe.
Oh,
Stuff.
And you head towards Hu Fang's warehouse. Walking rather than a rickshaw. Where's the mouse? Got mouse on there. It's going to take you about 10, 20 minutes. That one. Yep, that's it. So 20 minutes to get to the main entrance here. The place is in darkness, and because it's the warehouse district, there's not too many people working. It's quite quiet. Doesn't appear to be a 24-hour operation. The main doors are padlocked. I'm not sure if you want to try any what you want to do. So you arrive within. You can see the warehouse. What would you like to do?
Is the coast clear? Put it that way.
Spot hidden to see if the coast is clear.
yeah.
So, Enzo, glancing around, you don't see any. Don't see or hear anything that sounds out of the ordinary. You don't see anyone hanging around the warehouse. You do see though.
Are the boats still there?
Yes, from here, you could walk around here and then enter the warehouse here. Here is the boat. Ignore B, where it says location B. Ignore that.
As Ross said, are the boats still there?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to be careful here because old Ho Fang, is it not possible he could be sleeping on his boat? Because it's his yacht, you said, right?
That is correct. You don't know where Hu Fang lives.
True, but it seems to me more likely if he's anywhere, he's probably going to be sleeping he's going to be on his boat rather than in the warehouse. So,
Ogilvy, who's on first?
there again, who's on first?
Who's on? Oh, okay, never mind.
Oh, okay.
So from the corner here, before we go around, can we see any lights on? Does it look like there's any
It looks like
activity on the boat?
it looks like utter darkness.
Okay. Is it worth them maybe checking out the boat as well? Maybe Ogilvy will go check the boat out. Because again, not being funny. And what about is the other boat, the junk, still there?
No, the junk has gone.
So it's just his boat. So I reckon we
And it looks dark, the boat. So I'm assuming you're at the corner looking out. Yeah, it looks quite dark.
okay. So if we assume we're sort of lurking around here somewhere. So maybe where are we going to try and make entry? You're going to try and go in through one of the main doors here or through the front door? Presumably here, right?
Can we drag ourselves on? Or...
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
There
look.
So that door is locked. Rather large warehouse doors with a small insert door. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And does it look easier pickings than
Yes.
the
Yeah. Yeah, you think so because it's just it's the big door that they're just going to be opened more than the front door, so it could be worn. You think you've got a better chance of opening it. So your locksmithing, you gain 10% because of the age and how worn it is.
Okay, I'll give that a try. While Ogilvy's looking at the boat, I will.
So I gave you 10%. That takes you to 84. So you would need to spend 4 luck to succeed.
Yeah, I'll do that. So burns 4 luck.
And you open the door, creaks open. No, it doesn't creak open. It just opens, and you can smell the warehouse from inside.
I'll turn and look, check where the others are. I presumably see Ogilvy over there.
What was you doing, Ogilvy?
Well, I'm going to go and check out the boat because if it's in darkness, it might be worth searching to see if there's anything. You know, if that's his boat, then presumably it could be worth checking out. So I'm going to board the boat.
Okay. Splitting the party.
Where the fuck is Prattley?
So this is a.
Can you drag yourself on from the journal?
From where? Do I draw my finger?
You go to the journal and then find your character and just drag him on.
Oh God! Oh right. Okay. What? What a jip!
Not sure what happened there. Why are you? See if we can.
Actually, I'm not sure I ever set up an icon. I think Jarl did it.
Sure, you had one.
Image. Why can't I see image? That's close enough. Let's go with that. I'll try. Oh, he's gone now. Yeah, you seem to have vanished.
Hey, don't put this on me.
No. Anyway,
I'm a robot.
so Ogilvy steps onto the yacht. It's a large, well-kept, motorized junk. The luxuriant goddess.
Should we, Mr. Prattley? Should we follow?
Follow Ogilvy? Are you bloody mad, Enzo?
Yeah,
See,
Ogilvy's just going to have a little nose and see. Have a little nose and see
fire to
whether
the damn thing.
Okay, so Ogilvy,
Spot
make
my plan.
a spot hidden roll.
Spot hidden roll. Yeah.
Spotting the hidden.
Unless you got listen.
I'll check. Hold on. Yes, I have listen and I have spot hidden.
Go with listen first.
Okay.
Oofs.
So he hears nothing.
You
So
hear
he'll look
nothing. Why is that jumped up?
and sees nothing. So falls down the side of the boat and ends up in the water.
Yeah, you can't
What
hear
was
or
that
see.
splash, Enzo?
What
Did you hear that? Sounds like help.
That gap looked bigger than I thought.
So you don't hear anything. You don't see anything. You climb onto the boat.
Yeah.
You are
As you climb
deaf and
onto the
blind.
boat, there is a small wooden stick carelessly placed on the floor, which you tread on and snap. As you snap, you look through the doors of the boat, and you can see 4 men playing cards. And we'll get back to their reaction in a second.
Okay.
Enzo. And
Yes.
Bradley. You've opened the doors. What are you going to do?
Well, I just asked, shall we follow? And he said something like, "Dear God, no."
So are you going to follow Ogilvy onto the boat, or are you going to go into the warehouse?
Going to step inside and look around cautiously.
Okay, you step inside. Prattley, what are you doing?
Do I hear Ogilvy blundering around?
No, you hear him climb onto the boat. No, you see him climb onto the boat, and you hear a twig snap, and that's that moment.
I'm gonna sort of stop out here. I'm gonna pull my gun and just see what happens with Ogilvy.
Okay.
Ogilvy, what was that snap?
Ogilvy,
Yep.
there is a chance these guys will hear you.
Okay. When we left the hotel,
Enzo, I think Ogilvy's fucked us.
before before you do that, when we left the hotel, which bit of the axe was Ogilvy carrying? Was it the head or the stick?
Um,
The head, I think.
yes, you would have carried the head, but you because of the distance of travelling, you could have opted to have given the head back to Enzo, so that he has the whole axe.
Okay.
That's entirely up to you. You could make a luck roll to see if you still have the axe head.
Let's see what happens. We'll see what happens, I guess.
Okay. So, I'm going to give these guys. They're not totally paying attention. So no, they don't bat an eyelid.
Okay. In that case, given what I've seen,
Yep.
then obviously Ogilvy will now very carefully leave the boat, because
Yep.
the only reason he went onto the boat was to see if there was nobody on it. It was a good idea to have a nose around looking for stuff. But bearing in mind there's 4 crew members on the boat, obviously, then I think the best thing to do is to just leave the boat and let them get on with it, and then we'll go and check
Set
out
it
the
on
warehouse
fire.
later. Yeah, later. So I'm going to just do that. He's just going to leave the boat. Obviously, looking now being aware of the whole thing with the stick, he's going to look very carefully as to where he's going. But all he's going to do is leave the boat. I'm not searching it. I'm just getting off the boat as quietly as possible.
Yep.
Rejoining the others and going, "It's okay. I don't think they heard me."
Ooh.
Guys in the boat. There's 4 guys in the boat.
What? What's wrong with you, Knuckles? Why would you do that?
There's 4 guys in the boat, Mr. Bradley. I didn't realise, but it's okay. They didn't hear me.
So, how are you going to handle the? So, are you going to shut the warehouse door behind you, or?
Well, we're not going to lock it, I don't
I
think.
think we'd have to be careful doing that because it'll make a lot of noise.
What type of locking mechanism is it?
It's a latch and a padlock.
So I'll keep the padlock with me.
Yeah.
And close the door, but just try and
Okay, so you close the door, and
We are inside the warehouse.
inside of the warehouse is deathly quiet. You could try. So the door to that room is only a few feet away. You could try and lockpick that door, or you could go all the way up and break into the stairs.
I'll try and pick the lock.
Okay.
Makes sense.
There we go.
There we go.
The door opens very easily, and you slide into the room.
Yes. The sign on this door says special.
Special storeroom. So everyone make a spot hidden roll.
Okay. Bear with. Nice. So I did it.
It's not a competition.
6. You could burn 6 luck.
I could burn 6 luck. But Ogilvy's got it covered.
So Ogilvy.
Yeah.
So it's 10:30. So 2 things happen. You find in that room several statues of a bloated woman, which appears to be carved from a highly
Vanessa
desirable
Phelps?
mutton fat jade,
Oh no.
a white jade. There is a bronze GUI,
Graphical user
What?
interface?
which is a ritual vessel used for preparing meals for the dead in an ancestry worship.
Mhm.
And some what looks like very big bones, dragon bones. It's got there's a note saying.
How the hell would we know that?
There's a note.
Yeah,
There's a note over here.
If you make a cult or Cthulhu Mythos roll,
Yeah. Hold on. Let's have a look. I've got a cult, I
Well,
think.
if we make that a cult or Cthulhu Mythos roll, we know that it's dragon bones.
Oh, there
Ogilvy,
we go.
he's
I'm
on
not
fire.
jumping through your hoops. You've already told me.
It's they're actually bones from a baiki.
A buy key.
Yeah, I can be used.
No, I'm Blakey.
You're Blake. So, as you come to that realization, you can then hear the sound of people in the warehouse, and you can see lights underneath the doors as a patrol goes through the warehouse. So that's where we'll leave it.
And
And if anyone wants to make a quick rolls for their ticks,
What the fuck did I even succeed at? I can't remember. I think I got a spot hidden roll that was stupendous.
yes, no, you did an intimidate, wasn't it? Intimidate. You got
Oh
9.
god, I forgot to. Okay, cool. All right. Luigi.
We have to fail, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wait.
so,
Where's my
okay.
intimidate? Oh, I failed. Fucking awesome. Okay, that's +1 did. What is it? R/? I can't remember.
-R
/R.
Uh-huh. There we go.
/R 1d10, right?
or just D10 if it's only one.
Oh, fuck you, game. All right.
Oh, shit. Not a lot better from my side.
No. And spot hiding balls. All right. Well, intimidate goes up by 1.
Yep.
Oh dear.
That's me done. That is me done.
Make some quick notes for next week.
Cool.
Cool.
Well, I'll stop the audio then, if that's all right.
Yep, sounds like a plan.
Perfect. Thanks again. Where is the damn thing? There we are. Right then. See you all next time, chaps.
Yes, that was
close Craig
Yes.
off now.